Why don't you think real quick about what they might have done or said? Anything that happened that might not, just jot down a few little notes. What did they do or say that just wasn't all that helpful to you? Does everybody have a little bit of an idea of that, kind of recall a memory of some sort? Now, let's go for the opposite. Sometime when you were in a really needy place and someone just did just the right things, or it just felt so good what they were saying or doing for you. Y'all have something in mind? Okay. Anybody feel like sharing a little bit about what helps and what doesn't help?
Mary.
Yes! Thank you! Save me, Deb!
I guess for me is, when I was and this is a million different places, when I was in a bad place, whenever it was, and sharing where I thought I was, that the person really wasn't listening to my words and instead was either trying to tell me something or try to fix it. And all of you who know me know that I don't need any fixing. I'm pretty independent and I'm pretty capable of doing things myself. I just needed a sounding board, and what I got, in fact, was telling me what to do. And then the good thing, are we doing
Sure, go for it.
I've been really blessed in my life. I had Leave It to Beaver life. And throughout my whole life, I have always been told how much I'm loved and how those people who surround me are always on my side, no matter what I do or say, or even when I screw up, that they always say, I'm here for you.
I have one.
Go ahead.
A few years ago, my father passed away, and we were living in Warden, and he was in Western Washington, and so I got the call at 11 o'clock at night.
I'm going to stop you just for a second. You are welcome to kind of turn yourself around so
Okay.
that you can all hear you from here, and I want everybody to hear you.
So I got a call at 11 o'clock at night to come and see him. He's in the hospital, and by the time I got there at 2 in the morning or whatever it was, he'd passed. So the next morning I called Ed and let him know, and we have 3 daughters. And so I'm with my mom and my sister in Western Washington trying to deal with all of that, and at the same time feeling for my family that's back at home and I can't be there with them. And we had a gal from our church that came over and made sure that my family ate and cleaned the house and was just there to take care of them during a really difficult time when I wasn't able to be there. And that was a really powerful, obviously, experience for me to see somebody's love that way.
But I went through a very crappy divorce. And what didn't help us, people say, well, get over it, just let it go. Yeah, move on. And what helped is I had to move out of our old home into a new place. And I just didn't know where to start. I was just a zombie. Like sitting in the middle of the floor, what am I doing? And they came over and started putting things in boxes and helping me move. And that was good.
I think it's really weird that my two things are connected with the life that I'm retired from. So the bad thing was I was getting a doctorate at University of Oregon. Get to the orals, and those of you who know about such things, that's supposed to be like that end. And one of the people on the committee just not only rejected the whole dissertation, but made me feel like, everything I had done on it. I mean, he wasn't my major professor, but he was someone who's supposed to have read it. So anyway, the upshot was I didn't pass those orals, and I had to totally rewrite the whole dissertation. And I think one of the problems was I didn't have, when you do research, you're supposed to have significant results, but I didn't write that kind of dissertation. He just ripped into it, so it made me feel, like everything that I'd done was totally useless. And the interesting thing is that after that experience, the whole field of secondary reading and college reading went the way that I was writing. So that was the negative, and then the positive was I was over at University of Alaska Anchorage, and when you get hired, you have so many years, and you have to get tenure, and if you don't get tenure, then you're out. And so I was facing that, and I was going to a counselor for something else, and I was having her read my letter, to why they should tenure me. She says, "Why are you apologizing?" No, but I mean, seriously, because I guess I carried it forward from all of those other experiences. And so she helped me see what I had to offer the University of Alaska, and it just made me feel like I wasn't begging them to keep me on. I was telling them, why I was in it. Yeah, but that whole it changed my feelings, not only about myself but about others.
So your committee members didn't stick up for you?
No.
Wow.
No.
See, that happened to me as well. And the guy obviously didn't read my research, but all the other committee members had read it.
Yeah.
And they said, what are you talking about? She
Yeah.
did what, she's Dr. Stopper.
Yeah.
So it's too bad that you didn't have that kind of support.
In fact, the irony of it was one of my committee members was the chair of the English department at the University of Oregon, the chair of the English department, and one of his rants was about the misspelled words or something. I don't know.
Go ahead, Nancy.
My bad experience was when my father was dying. He was in the ER, and I had requested that they remove the
Life support.
yes, thank you, because I knew he did not want to hang around anymore. And someone had called my minister at that time, and he arrived. From the moment the minister arrived, it was very clear he needed to not be there. And I was trying to concentrate on allowing my father to die with dignity. finally had to turn around and tell the minister, please just go away. I can tell that you need to be elsewhere, so please just go.
Oh.
And that was very hard, because although I know that ministers are human beings, I need to be my place. And I couldn't be there for them. And my good experience was right after my husband died, my younger son, who had 4 children and a wife on the East Coast, but he came out for the memorial service. And then he went home, and about 4 days later, he and his wife and 4 children arrived, gathered me up, and took me home with them for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just exactly what I needed. They were, of course, kids are always super. But that my son and his wife should come out was really fantastic.
Yes, Ms. Verona.
I've been through so many deaths in my life that I have accepted them as, some of them, I mean, like when my mom passed, it was like, okay, I won't talk about the deaths because I was able to handle them. I lost my husband, I lost my husband was 20 years to the day, almost to the day that we got married. And he was only a young man, he was only 52 at the time. And then for 4 years, I was a widow, and then I met this other gentleman who I was with for, would be 26 years. So those were all beautiful experiences. The one and only experience that none of you will ever experience in your life, I experienced a very heartbreaking experience. And it was my neighbor. And I had delivered their grandchildren, 2 grandchildren, and we were all friends. His wife and I were walking partners, and everything was wonderful. Anytime she wanted me to come down and see them, I would do it. But she passed away. And after she passed away, before she passed away, she was very sick, and her husband kept talking to me and asking me to help him to get through this. And so I did. Anyway, make a long story short, but it was the most painful experience I had ever experienced in my life. I mean, I have dealt with people from all walks of life in England, in Turkey, in Germany, and this experience was the most terrible thing in my life. I've never experienced it before. So for 2 years, I carried this man. I listened to him. I would fix him dinner, and he would come to me. Sometimes he would call and he'd say, do you have time for a cup of tea? And I said, yes. So the day he did a cremation of his wife, and the day he washed her down, or whatever he called it, he came to my door. And when I opened my door, I saw him at the door, but I didn't see him. I saw Moses at my door. This is really weird. He was radiant. He was beautiful. His hair was white, his beard was white, and I said, what happened to you? He says, I gave my wife a bath for the last time. And I said, my God, you've been transformed. I said, your skin is, he was just perfect. Okay, so I still carried him. I made him dinner, I made him, and I think Jeanette knew the pain I went through. So anyway, he kept coming to my house, and it was nothing there. I didn't feel anything. But that day, when he came to my door, and I saw a transfiguration of this man, something in my heart liked him. And then one day I said to him, are you interested in a relationship with me? And you know what he said? No, because I'm from the old school.